Welcome to stage 6 of the Tour de Suisse. In the past, the Tour de Suisse has only had one or two summit finishes, but the brutally tough 2016 edition leaves no room for recovery for the GC riders. After the first test in the mountains in stage 5, there's another tough summit finish in store on the 6th day, and this one is even tougher than what they had to face in stage 5. Although the final climb to the finish line is shown as only a Category 1 climb, as opposed to the horse category that was in Stage 5. The Stage 5's climb was longer with an easier gradient, whereas the Category 1 to the finish on Stage 6 is more than 10% for most of the way, and it has the possibility to create some huge time differences. Remember that only 14 seconds separate the three of the main favorites for the race. The 162.8 kilometer sixth stage has no less than 3,045 meters of climbing that will bring the riders from Wiesen to the top of the Amden climb. In fact, the starting city is located at the bottom of the final ascent. So before the riders even set off on their stage, they'll already be looking up at what the final climb is going to be looking like, just for a little bit of added intimidation value. So the main part of the stage consists of one big 153.3 kilometer circuit on the western outskirts of the city of Wiesen, should I say. It's mainly flat with a single uncategorized climb that's to help with the warm-up that's over the first half of the circuit. However, the second part of the circuit includes a very difficult challenge where they'll go up a horse category Clausen Pass, which is 23.3 kilometers at a 6.2% average gradient. And the summit of that comes at approximately the 100 kilometer mark, so it's about 62-63 kilometers from the finish. From there, they descend back to flat roads that lead back to Wiesen. Having returned to the starting city, the riders will hit the final climb that starts with 7.8 kilometers to go. The 6.9 kilometer Category 1 mountain stage averages a massive 10.7%, and there's no room for recovery as the gradient stays 10% for most of the climb. There's a couple of 100 meters of slightly easier climbing at around about 4 kilometers before the road kicks up steeply back up to just under 11% again. The King of the Mountains Prime comes 1.2 kilometers out from the finish line, but that doesn't mean that the climbing is over. It just means that the average gradient drops from just under 11% to only 7.9% for the last 1200 meters. And the climb follows a winding road with switchback turns, and the final turn is only 500 meters from the finish line. So it's a bit deceptive that the final climb on stage 5 was a horde category, while the climb to Amden is only first category. But of course this climb is shorter, but it has some incredibly brutal gradients, which makes it even more challenging and suited for pure climbers. The important thing to remember here is that as the time gaps open up in the GC with the climb up to the finish line on stage 6, there's a temptation for some of the riders maybe to push too hard and overcook the finish in stage 6, leaving nothing in the tank. And bear in mind that the climbing on stage 7 will be even tougher than the climbing on stage 6. So the GC riders can't afford to carry too much fatigue over into stage 7. That brings us to the end of the preview of what to be expecting in stage 6 of the 2016 Tour de Suisse. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and until we meet again, stay carved up for the win. See you then. Cheers. Coach Edu.